Eriador is diminished. The time of the Eldar is fading, and the deeds of the men of the West are preserved only in their ruins. The shadow of a fear of ages past threatens all the free peoples of Middle-earth. And yet, hope remains. For in the hearts of unlikely folk is the strength to wander through shadow kept. And only thence can they come to the morning. And though the road is long and treacherous and full of peril, it is a road that these companions must travel. And only through strength of loyalty, friendship, and hope can they overcome the obstacles ahead. May the goodwill of elves, men, and all free folk go with them. After an arduous battle with a wild band of orcs, the company traversed the wide vale between the North Downs and the Wither Hills. Therein laid a farmstead, now burnt to cinders, with the last of the Kettlegrass line within. A solitary white steed is all that remains of a once proud house. With the last of the line of Kettlegrass laid to rest, the company presses onward in pursuit of their quarry.
Hello and welcome to yet another episode of Fear of Ages Past.
Nice new hat, JJ.
Yes, it's very nice. I don't know if this episode's going to air. It'll definitely air after Christmas, actually. It'll definitely air after Christmas. But that means we get to keep the Christmas spirit alive.
Happy Yule, everyone.
A few more weeks. I will forget to take down my Christmas tree for probably another 6 months.
Excellent.
Fair enough.
Christmas in July, let's go.
Exactly. It will always be in my midst, as is the Christmas spirit. Speaking of Christmas spirit, actually this has nothing to do with Christmas spirit because you all have just laid some poor souls named Kettlegrass to rest. And with that, the sun is down. Is there anything else you would like to do this evening before you take your rest?
We'll probably just go back to the cellar and use that as our shelter for the evening since it was already partially concealed.
Okay.
Agreed. Good spot.
And I'll make a craft roll to try to conceal it more. Will I get any bonus since it's already kind of concealed?
Sure.
All right. And if anyone wants to help?
Sure.
Okay.
Yay.
Okay. Yeah. You arrange. You take some trees which had fallen, or twigs which had broken, sticks, all kinds of stuff, and sort of arrange them in such a way that you feel as though it would make a proper blind to keep any prying eyes away from this cellar.
All right. And then before I seal this up, I make sure the horses are okay.
Yeah, you can see. Do you tie them up?
Yeah, I'll probably tie them off to something. And my horse is female as well, so we don't have to worry about any weird shenanigans going on while we're asleep.
Hey, it's natural.
It is, but it also probably would make a lot of noise, which wouldn't be good to hide.
That is true. The sounds of horse love echo across the valley.
In a few months, free horses. When we get settled down in there, Thrush is just gonna look over at Miragar and just nod at him and say, "Thank you, by the way, for trying so vigorously to protect me during the fight."
Of course. I feel like sometimes it's all I could do. I'm not really good with the fighting thing.
Well, you're good at other things. He's just gonna kind of pat his abdomen and say, I'm very shocked that when we had the opportunity to find a place to camp tonight, that you wanted to sleep in a small, tight hole in the ground.
That's probably some of the best sleep I've gotten since we've gone on this journey, to be quite honest with you.
All right. And you all find rest. You gain even more hit points back, those of you who are wounded, and reduce your injury by an additional day.
I'm going to recover 2 more hopes since it reset because it's a new session.
Same.
All right, so let's take a look and see how everybody's doing. Let's see. Everybody is just about up to full health. Miragar, you've got 2 days left on your injuries. Thrush, you've got 4 days. And Larry, you've got 2. So that's good. That's good. You wake up in the morning and you're all feeling quite refreshed. It turns out that some semblance of safety and shelter from the elements provides for a very restful sleep. But you wake up and make your way back outside, clear out the blind which Larry had made to keep the cellar hidden. And there you see both horses standing there waiting patiently.
Before we leave the cellar, Larry's probably just going to do one last scan roll just to see maybe they left a saddle down here.
Okay.
Always buy one with me.
Always buy one.
Oh, no.
Yeah, unfortunately, it looks as though everything that was found that was of some sort of value was probably pilfered.
Fair enough.
With that, you all are prepared to set out. I would have our guide give me yet another travel roll, if you would.
All right, let's travel it up and see how we do here.
Okay. Great success, even though we had a
That's scary.
stupid eye.
Yep. Because on my screen they were cocked, and I was like, "What did I get?"
All
Does the
right.
eye awareness go up on any eye of Sauron, or only if it's a failure?
Only if it's a favored roll that doesn't count. So
Okay.
yeah, if it affects the result, then it would
Gotcha.
then it
Okay.
would count.
Sweet.
All right, so you resume picking up the trail left by your quarry, which you have been following, and you can see that it seems as though they headed up the greenway, and almost as if they're heading towards Fornost, and yet they veered off the road just north of the Weather Hills and just south of the North Downs, and you can tell that they continue eastward. Let's see. So you get to travel for 4 days. They continue eastward, and then take a turn south.
So they went from Bree up north to Fornost, and then we are tracking them around the Weather Hills.
Yes, it seems as though. Actually, you know what? Give me a riddle roll.
Yeah, that's a weird.
I did take one because I didn't do it last time we did rolls. I took 1 point back.
Yeah, no problem at all.
Okay. Kind of upon examining the path that you've taken so far, you remember it seems as though the tracks have sort of doubled back in certain ways. It's almost as if they are trying to leave a trail which was difficult to follow.
Okay.
And so you make your way, and you can guess that you're actually nearing back to the Great East Road. And as you are nearing the Great East Road, you can see you're traveling along the plains. I'm going to need the lookout to give me an awareness roll, as you see the sun is shining brightly down upon you, unhindered by cloud or rain or anything. And just in front of you, you see a great shadow pass and make its way up eastward, or westward, dang it. Make its way up westward over the Weather Hills. And Aranel, you look up, and there you see a great eagle flying above you, making its way west.
Hopefully a good omen.
It is a good omen, as you all have encountered a joyous sight. Seeing this, one of the fabled eagles fills you with a certain wonder, a certain hope that there is still good left in the world, regardless of the evils and terrors which you have encountered. You all can regain a hope point if you have any which are spent.
For free? Yay!
I had just spent the hope, so I got my hope back. Because I didn't want to fail that roll.
Well, it worked out.
Yes.
All right, and even still, you almost feel reinvigorated by the sight of this eagle. It gives you not new purpose, but it gives you a certain strength, which allows you to press on. You take no additional fatigue.
Yes.
Sweet.
So, I would say, Thrush, go ahead and give me yet another travel roll, if you would.
All right.
Nice.
Okay.
You even got a 10-bar room in there.
Very good. So, you continue southwards. And just before you reach the Great East Road, you see that the road actually takes the path actually takes a sharp turn to the east. And you follow that for another couple of days. When suddenly, you can see that the trail breaks. It seems as though a small group broke off from the main cohort that you've been following, and continues southwards, while the rest continue eastwards. I'm going to need to figure out exactly which way to go. Miragar, I'm going to need you to give me an explore roll.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, but it spun on the Gandalf rune. I don't know if anybody noticed that.
Yeah. Oh, great success.
All right. So, you continue. And it seems as though, as you press on, the main cohort breaks once again and heads down a hill. Yet, however, you look and you can see just up a hill, you see looks to be a large walled homestead. Just up the hill, and you can see on the hill as it elevates, there are thickets and bushes and trees which lead and line the road leading up to this homestead. And from what you can tell, it looks like it's in decent repair.
I don't think I've ever been here before. Interesting. Oh, you said the tracks go this way for sure, Miragar?
From what I saw, yeah.
Just to clarify, maybe I wasn't super clear.
Okay.
The tracks actually continue on and lead a little bit further down a hill. But upon following these tracks, you actually came upon a road which leads up to this homestead.
Okay, so are the tracks headed towards the homestead or not?
They are not.
Okay.
Well, perhaps if anyone's there, they might have seen something.
Yes, I suppose there's no harm in asking if anyone's seen our quarry.
You make your way up, and as you do, you hear the twanging of a bowstring and the whistle of an arrow as it sails, buries itself in the ground between Miragar and Aranel. And you hear shouted from the top of this wall, "What business have you at the House of Farrell?"
We mean no harm. We are trying to look for a lost boy. We're wondering if you've seen anyone pass through here.
You see someone poke their head up above this wall and kind of cover his eyebrows a little bit and poke down at you. "You're not bandits."
No.
No.
Simple travelers who came from Bree looking for a mother's son who was lost. We believe he may have been perhaps not exactly kidnapped, but tricked by someone.
You look and you see he kind of looks back, and it seems as though he's probably talking to someone on the other side of the wall. And he looks back at you all and he says, "Come on up."
Thank you.
Aranel will grab the arrow so she can return it.
All right, and you see this gate open up. It's a large, probably an 8-foot gate, which opens up outward. And you can see that the walls themselves are basically made of what looks like logged wood, and the gate is also made of logged wood. And as they open up, they creak on wooden hinges, and the rope creaks a little bit as they open up. And inside, you can see what looks to be a quite large house. You can see a few people wandering around, 2 dogs which are kind of nosing about, wandering around on the interior, a few outbuildings, and the individual who saw you at the top of the wall comes down, and you can see he's got a little bit of a perch kind of on top of the wall, and you can see there's a stool up top and a quiver full of arrows. You see he sets his bow down and leans it up against the stool and climbs down a ladder to come and greet you. And this is sort of what he looks like.
All right.
You can see he's a man probably in his early 30s. He wears a button-down shirt with leather suspenders. Definitely a working man's attire. He approaches you all, and he says, "Hi, I'm Farrell the Younger. What business have you in this area?"
As we said, we came from Bree looking for a young boy, a young man named Hamfist, who we believe he was dragged into something under false pretenses. His mother wants him back.
Wouldn't happen to have anything to do with the bandits we've been running into, would it?
I mean, I don't know anything about any bandits, but a person impersonating, for lack of a better term, a wizard, took this boy with him.
A wizard?
Yes, he would have been pretending to be an older gentleman, perhaps wearing a grey cloak, a long beard.
Pointy hat.
Well, I did see, just last night we had an assault on the chicken coop of nothing else. Seems as though they were trying to get a hold of our chickens. And you can see that the dogs are kind of sniffing around a chicken coop, and there's a couple of dead chickens that lay inside. He says, "I could swear that I saw there's a tall bearded man who wore a pointed hat. That might be who you're talking about.
Yes.
Although I didn't get his name."
Yes. And he tried to break into your home?
Well, yeah, they scaled the walls. Came under the cover of night.
Huh. Well, we were following some tracks before we saw your homestead, so we did decide to stop by here to see if you knew anything, and well, as fortune would have it seems you've seen them.
Oh, call it fortune, if you will.
Well,
Don't know if that's the way I would define it.
Well, yes, I'm very sorry about the damage to your home and your livestock.
Well, we injured one. He was limping away. And about this time, you hear off to the side, "Farrell! Why don't you introduce me to our guests?" And you see an older gentleman wearing kind of like a fur-lined cloak approaching you, bald, scraggly beard, and you can tell he looks bitter. And this is kind of an idea of what he looks like.
Is this Pharaoh the Older?
It is Pharaoh the Elder, as he introduces himself. Pharaoh the Elder! He nods over to Pharaoh the Younger and he says, why don't you go see that Poppy and the wife are not arguing again? And with that, Pharaoh the Younger nods and heads off. And he says, welcome to the House of Pharaoh. Tell me, who are you?
I am Larry Rushlight from Bree.
Aranel.
Miragar Two-Step. Pleasure to meet you.
Rush.
You got a little tear in your tunic there underneath your belly. Thrush.
Thanks to some orcs.
Well, it seems we're all having a stroke of ill luck here recently, aren't we?
Yeah, we heard you had some vagabonds try to take some chicken, and it seems that we are looking for those specific vagabonds.
Well, we don't know exactly where they're hiding out, but they're sure to attack again.
Well, we could either wait here or we could go find them, I guess.
Do you know which way they went after they left your farmstead?
They went down the hill somewhere. Lose them amongst the brush.
Well, your son, if I'm correct, he is your son.
That one? Yeah.
He did say that you apparently injured one of them. Perhaps there's a trail of blood to follow.
Yeah. Pharaoh was pretty good with a bow, I suppose. Nicked him in the leg. Limped off, he did. Unfortunately, they were under cover of darkness before we could get to him.
I see.
Is this the first time they've assaulted you?
There have been a number of attacks before, but this is the first time they made it over the walls.
How many days between attacks?
Usually just a couple.
I
They
see.
go and they try, and then they regroup, and then they try again.
Can't be that far away.
Definitely not. Might we see where they scaled the wall from to just have a look?
Yeah, right over here.
Thank you.
And he kind of shows you over to this section of wall right next to the chicken coop. And you can see that. Actually, give me a scan roll, if you would.
All of us?
Anybody who's looking.
All right.
You know the elf is.
Looking but not seeing.
Well, at least this one time it was more than just by one.
Yep, the elf is the only one.
Okay. So you can tell that it looks as though there's a little bit of a. It looks as though they got up on a post. They had roped around a post which supports the wall. Because the rope is actually, you can look and you can see that it's tied to the top of the post, just up top there. Probably thrown up, maybe lassoed over the top. And it looks as though they climbed over the wall.
Well, seems like that's how they got over. And she'll point out the...
Now, admittedly, I can respect a good grappling hook, but these are not good people, to say the least.
Right, they tried to make off with some of my chickens.
Yes, so we've heard. Now, I don't know how much of our conversation with your son you overheard, but you believe that they've, for all intents and purposes, kidnapped a young man from Bree. We're trying to get him back to his mother.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
Oh, that's quite alright, but your son did identify one of them as sounding like our prime suspect.
Who's that?
Old man with a pointy hat.
Oh, the bearded one.
Yes.
The one that throws fire.
He throws fire, does he?
Yeah.
Interesting.
He didn't use it against your defenses, though?
Well, nope. Not last night, anyway.
Huh.
Seems as though he's used it as a bit of a scare tactic. Tried to catch us unawares and shake us in our boots. Luckily, until last night, these walls have held strong.
Well, perhaps make your posts a little harder to lasso, and it should help a little bit.
And at this, he actually, you see, he kind of looks around, and you can see a kind of a younger guy. He's about in his early 20s. You see, he says, he yells out, "Farwell! Farwell, mind the cows! Go on, do it!" And then he looks back at you and says, "Bloody kids." Anyway, I'm sorry, what were you saying?
Just perhaps make some adjustments to your posts.
Right,
Should help them not get over.
right. Well, I tend to think that my wall is fine. If it weren't for these worthless kids that I seem to be raising here. Grown men they're supposed to be, yet it seems like I gotta do everything myself.
Well, at the very least, Farah the Younger does seem to have at least injured one of them for you.
Yeah, well, at least he's good for something.
Being good with a bow is a good skill to have.
He looks
Most
at you,
certainly.
he looks at you up and down Aranel, and he says, "Yeah, I bet you'd know a lot about that, wouldn't you?"
I do.
Right. Everybody, go ahead and make me a courtesy roll real quick, if you would.
Alright.
Oof, that's not her skill.
Gandalf!
I'll throw a hope die in there just in case.
Thank goodness I got a Gandalf, because I got 3 1s.
Okay.
Now you know how I feel.
So, he looks at Larry and Miragar, and he gives you both nods. Looks down at you, Miragar, and sees that you, while you are small, it seems as though you are at least polite and courteous. Aranel seems, you can tell he looks at you sort of alien. Seems as though he probably hasn't dealt with many elves. And Thrush, he looks over at you, and you can tell that he kind of looks up at you in a sort of, you can tell that he kind of he has a sense of not desire, almost like
Disdain?
an awe or
Reverence?
sort of like a reverential look to him. But you can tell that mixed in with that, there's also a bit of distrust. He looks over at you. He looks over at Thrush and he says, "You one of them rangers?"
Just give him a nod and put his hand over his chest the way that the elves were saluting, and just nod to him. I am.
Right. Are you good with that thing? And he points down to your sword.
He's going to basically pull it out of the sheath, just let it sing as he draws it, and just salute. I'm getting better.
He's far too modest. He's quite adept with that blade.
Good. Listen, why don't you join us for dinner?
We would gladly accept your kindness. Thank you.
And at that, he yells out, Arnalda! Arnalda, we've got guests! Turns out we've got a couple of dead chickens that need cooked.
And Thrush was just about to lean down to Miragar and say, I bet we're having chicken. But he didn't get to say it, so he just says, I was just going to say it. Assuming we're going to have chicken.
Well, nothing should go to waste.
Exactly.
And so you are all welcomed tentatively into the house.
Question: did they let us bring our horses in?
Oh, yes. Yeah, they let
Okay.
you bring your
They
horses in.
clearly have a sign outside that says, no horses.
You can
You have to
see
tie him up
that,
outside the wall.
one of the outbuildings is actually a stable. There's a small fenced-in corral with a few hay bales lined out. And it looks as though there's already a couple of horses kind of nosing at the hay.
Okay, excellent.
And you are more than welcome to tie up your horses in there or put your horses in there.
Thank you.
That white one! Where'd that one come from?
We passed by a homestead on our way here that unfortunately was raided by orcs. This horse is the only survivor.
Really now?
Yes.
You see he eyes it up and down. Yeah. Fine steed.
Yes.
Give me a...
He's from the Kettlegrass family, if you've ever heard of them.
Can't say I'm familiar.
Well,
Give me an insight roll real quick.
all right. I'll spend a hope on this.
Okay.
Nope.
Yeah, I mean, he is very impressed by your horse. And with that, you can see there's an older lady who walks out. You guess that she's probably in her late 50s or so. Gray hair, you can see she's got crow's feet. Very dark complexion. She says, are you the guests that my loving husband informed me about, I assume?
Yes, miss. Thank you. Thank you and your husband for your hospitality.
At that, when she says that, Thrush is just the left side of his mouth just kind of curls up in a little smirk when she says loving husband.
Beryl always is so generous, isn't he?
Well, at least to us he has been, so I cannot complain.
Well, please, make yourself comfortable. Farrell, the younger, was just about to light a fire. And you look and you can see that there is what looks to be a large sitting area around a quite robust fire pit. Just off to the side of a very large oak tree. Please come. Make yourself comfortable.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And she takes you over there and says, please, let me go and fetch you something to drink. I know the road out there is quite hard and fraught with peril. And at that, she walks off and makes her way into the house. At which point, Farrell comes and sits next to you all. Farrell the elder, as the younger begins piling up wood in a triangular TP formation, stacking it so it's got some nice airflow. It begins chipping away at some flint with steel, trying to spark it to life. And he says, well, Why don't you tell me about yourselves? Looks as though you're already travel worn.
Yes.
We've had quite a few adventures.
Yes, well, Miragar and I are from Bree. Our friends are from much further away.
Looks at Aranel and says, I can tell. It's
From
been
Mythland, if you've ever heard of it.
only by
Great Haven.
reputation.
Yeah.
So you're saying this old man that throws fires abducting kids?
We believe so, yes. That's what at least the mother of the boy claims. And, well, we tend to agree, as, a mother's love for her child is quite strong.
As it always should be. Well,
Yes.
in most cases.
Yes, of course.
Well, I mean, he's not really a boy. He's kind of a young adult, but he had sustained, I think she said, an injury to the head when he was little, so he's a little slow, I guess one could say, which is why I think that he was persuaded more easily.
Right. Now, I've got a couple of those myself. But that's neither here nor there. It seems as though our goals align.
Yes, it certainly sounds that way.
Well, and at this point, go ahead and... there's no listen check in this game, is there? Give me an awareness roll. Real quick.
I am not
Everybody.
good at that. Yeah.
Oh boy, I rolled a 1, 2, and a 3.
Those elven ears, I'm telling you. They must be superpowers.
Aranel, you can hear your ears twitch just a little bit, and you can hear coming from the inside of the house. It sounds like a bitter argument between two women, and that goes on for a minute or two, and then Ronalda comes back out, and she's got a tray full of drinks, full of tankards, and you can see as she makes her way out, she kind of shakes her head a little bit, almost as if she's trying to shake away some sort of frustration out of her face, as if it can fall off like dirt. And she makes her way over to you all and hands out these tankards, and you can see that they are some warm but decent ale. I'll start dinner right away. Me and young Poppy inside will get right on that. If you need anything, just call out for Tulla.
Okay. Is there
Do you
anything
need
I can
any help? Yes. Do you need any help in the kitchen or cooking? I'm quite handy.
Can you sit over the table? I'm just kidding. Please come. And with that, she nods her head towards Farrell, who kind of gives her a look and nod his head back over to the house. And she makes her way back into the house. And Miragar, you follow?
Yeah. You will head to go help.
Then they put Miragar in a stew.
Oh no.
We've encountered hags. Oh no. Sorry. Wrong universe.
All right. So, Miragar, you make your way in, and as you do, you can see that this is, not only is it very large on the outside, but it's actually quite nice on the inside. All made of dark wood. You can tell that it is kept in pretty good repair. The entryway has several branching hallways that jut off to your left and your right. Ernalda makes her way inside and immediately takes a hard right, and you can see as she opens the door and passes through the transom, there is a relatively sizable kitchen. And inside you can see, looks like another woman brown hair, probably in her mid-20s. She's currently over a bucket, and it looks like she's plucking feathers off of one of the dead chickens. Oh. Hello.
Hi.
Poppy. It's nice to meet you. I'm Farrell's husband, Farrell the Younger. Or I'm Farrell's wife, sorry.
I'm Joe Biden's husband.
I'm Miragar. Pleasure to meet you. I'm here to assist in any way I can in cooking.
Oh. Please, yeah, if you would, we've got a few more chickens to be plucked. And she nods over towards the counter, and you can see a couple chickens just kind of sitting there.
Yeah, he'll grab one and start plucking.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a craft roll, if you would, or a hunting roll, whichever suits your fancy.
Craft is a little better. Of course.
Oh no!
Apparently,
I was about to say, is this actually
apparently
really
Sauron hates chicken.
Sauron is one of the Chick-fil-A cows.
No, he'd be giving me bonuses then.
Or sorry, yeah, he's the opposite of the Chick-fil-A cows.
He's
like,
the
eat more
chicken
beef.
lord.
Eat
Yeah.
more beef.
As you begin plucking this chicken, you get to a point where you're holding it up, and you pull on one of the feathers, and it opens up a large laceration in the chicken's chest cavity, and as soon as that opens up, this putrid smell comes out and wafts into your face. And-
This one's sick, infected.
Oh, no worries. We'll throw that one out. We can slaughter another one if we need one. At which point, Arnaldo speaks up and says, "What, you think we're made of chickens?"
There's no need. I'm sure we have enough here.
Indeed. Please, if you would, we're trying to get together some roasting spices, but we're quite short. If you know
Oh, of
anything...
course. Hold on. And he runs to his pack and pulls out some spices from Bree and runs back in.
Alright, and you get your spices together. Panning back outside, you all sit around the fire, which has now been lit by Farrell the Younger. And he sits down on one of the rickety chairs that sits on the outside of the circle. And he just kind of looks around at you all, quiet. Is there anything that you all would like to do?
I mean, probably just gonna continue the conversation. Like, what would you propose? Would you prefer that we stay here and help you ambush them, or would you like us to hunt them down?
Well, behind the walls is safer than out in the field.
I tend to agree. Although, if they do strike by night, I do want to make sure we don't accidentally harm the boy or the young man we're trying to rescue.
Right, well, you know what he looks like.
I'm pretty sure his mom gave us a description of Handfist.
Did she describe him as the most handsomest boy ever?
Probably, to be fair.
Probably not going to help us a lot.
I think he was described as kind of a rather large boy, but
Yeah,
also
17.
obviously slow. Yeah.
17, probably a bit portly, if I remember correctly.
With that, you see that Farrell kind of strokes his chin a little bit, and Farrell the Younger, he just continues kind of staring forward. You can tell that it doesn't really ring a bell with him. The Elder looks and he says, "Well, I'm not seeing anyone fitting that description. Although if he makes a habit of it,
It's possible he's got a couple of kids in there.
Yes, that's probably a fair point. Well, if nothing else, we can try to... Well, at least we'll try to capture the old one that shoots fire alive to interrogate him.
Do you know of any other places around here? Ruins, towers, places they may have headed off to?
Well, no, I don't rightly know where they might be hiding out. All we know is that they went limping off down the hill.
We can, at the very least, perhaps look for a trail or maybe some tracks they left behind. And even if we don't engage them, we can maybe get an idea of their numbers.
Well, you can try that, but if they catch you unawares, well, at least here you'd have a wall.
Yes.
Probably not a bad idea to just set up watch tonight anyway.
Agreed.
Yes, you're probably right.
And with that, I think we are going to go ahead and take a quick break, and we will be right back. Howdy, howdy, Tavern goers. It's me, everyone's favorite Moss, and I'm here to tell you that we are giving you the opportunity to snag some pretty dope merch here, okay? So we have decided that we are going to do a little raffle to kick 2025 off with a bang. So, just to go over a couple of the rules here, we have started, as of December 17th, selling the raffle tickets, and we will end on January 12th. The tickets themselves start at $15 a pop, but guess what? The more you spend, the more you get. If you spend $30, you get 3 tickets. If you spend $50, you get 10 tickets, and if you spend $100, you get 25 tickets. So that's 25 chances to win for $100. Now let's talk a little bit about the prizes, okay? Because that's what you're here for. That's what anybody enters a raffle for, is the prizes. Both winners, and you heard me right, both 2 winners, they're both going to receive a Tales from the Dragon's Tavern branded t-shirt along with a coffee mug. The first place winner will get a digital Pathfinder 2nd edition bundle that includes all of the Pathfinder 2nd edition remastered core books, a handful of map folios, and a handful of pre-written adventures for a total of 72 digital items. That's 72 items you get. Now, the second place winner will receive a Free League publishing bundle, including the core books for Tales from the Loop, Dragon's Bane, Mutant Year Zero, Forbidden Lands, Symbaroum, Twilight 2000, Coriolis, plus a handful of supplement books for these systems, totaling 29 digital items. That's 29 digital items. So, 2 winners, 2 awesome prizes. Again, $15 a pop. The more you spend, the more you get. Go ahead and check it out. The link to our Discord is going to be in our link tree in the description below. Just type !support in chat, and that'll take you to the place that you need to go to support this stream and potentially get yourself some awesome prizes. And we are back. And as you all are just kind of sitting around the fire, Miragar, you are in the kitchen, helping to put together a decent meal, spicing up some chickens, cutting leeks, and other veggies, which might go in a stew of some sort. At that, Poppy pipes up and she asks you, "So, where is it that you're from?"
Oh, well, I live in Bree. I've been there for most of my life, but I guess I'm from the Shire originally.
Bree. I'm also from Bree. My sister and I, Tulla, we married into the family.
Both of you?
Yes, Farrell the Younger is my husband, and Farwell is Tulla's husband.
Is Farwell the other son, or was that...
Yes, you might have seen him. He's quiet.
So
It's
there's 2 sons, and then the two you and your sister, and then the elder and his wife.
Yes. And some servants who do Pharaoh's bidding from time to time, mostly working out in the fields and such.
And how long have you been married to the younger?
Well, I've been married to Farrell for about 3 years. Tola just married Farwell last year. She she's not, and you can see she kind of leans in a little bit closer to you, presumably to keep Arnalda from hearing. Says, she's not a fan of living out in the middle of nowhere.
Well, I will tell you, this is one of the best places I've seen out in the middle of nowhere. We've gone, and he whispers that back to kind of, confirm hers, and he goes, we've traveled all over the Weathered Hills. We fought some trolls in the Weathered Hills, and we've gone south to Tharbad and such. And I will tell you, I haven't seen it in the day. I've kind of only seen it at dusk and night, but this is a fairly nice farmstead you have out here.
Oh, wow, I'm surprised you're still breathing. Facing trolls and all those travels. It's quite something. I bet you, I bet you have bards sing about you at all the taverns.
I don't think we're quite that famous yet, but, Aranel is an amazing shot with her bow, and Thrush is, if you know anything about the Rangers, he holds up to that. He's quite the swordsman and lore master himself. And Larry is, he's good at all of it too. He has helped us survive, and he knows his way around the place. His family's been up and down the road quite a lot, so he knows this land very well. You may have even traded with them. What's your family's name in Bree? I've been there long enough. I may know 1 or 2 of your family members.
Hardybow.
Can I roll? To know if I recognize the name?
Yeah.
What would you like?
Probably a lore or a riddle.
I'm gonna do riddle because it's favorite. Not that it's gonna help, but. Oh, okay, nice. You liked me today.
Hardybow.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Now come up with their full backstory on the spot, Moss.
yeah. So her father, Oswald Hardybow, is actually a renowned lumberjack, just on the edge of the Chetwood. Very prosperous family, which is why it strikes you as a little odd that her father would agree to marry her and her sister off to someone to the east of the Weathered Hills.
Yeah.
But you can see that she is quite fetching.
I know your father. My family and the farm I grew up on outside the Chetwood have had dealings with your father before and your family. I think
Really?
he helped us clear a patch of land for growing something or extending a field out a little bit some years back.
It seems as though the world really is a small place, isn't it?
Well, as much as it seems a distance from Bree, it's really not. But on the other side of the Weathered Hills, it does seem like a whole different world over here.
And at this point, Arnaldo pipes up and says, "Poppy, more onions!" All right, I'm getting on with it. Yeah, sorry. She and I don't see eye to eye all the time.
Well, I understand that sentiment. But, doesn't seem like a bad place to live. At least Farrell the Elder seems like a nice, honest man. And his son seems like he wants to take care of the farm at least.
Give me an insight roll real quick.
Yes, Gandalf.
So you can tell that as you say that Farrell the Elder seems to be an honest man, she rolls her eyes just ever so slightly, and you can tell that there's a bit of animosity and impatience with her towards Farrell the Elder. But as soon as you mention that I can't remember exactly what it was that you said about Farrell the Younger, but as soon as you say
something positive.
as soon as you mention Farrell the Younger, you can tell that there's definitely something there. While they were arranged to be married, she does care for Farrell the Younger.
Well, he'll kind of look at her, with like a knowing look, kind of like a soft smile, and say, "Well, let's cut these onions and get all this stuff ready, shall we?" I think everybody's starting to get. I know I'm starting to get hungry, and I'm sure everybody else is as well. And he'll kind of get back to doing whatever needs to be done for dinner.
All right, very good.
I was half expecting Miragar to kind of be macking up all these women.
So you just wait till next Yule. He's gonna be siring heirs from the last bridge to.
You did this, Frost. You mentioned
to the northern moors.
You did this, Frost. You mentioned him visiting a widow, and now he's just let it get to his head the power.
He fails one shadow test. Drunk with power.
Lure of power. Genghis Khan.
All right. So, with that, you all make dinner. And it's turned out to be quite a fine supper. You join everybody. You see there is Farwald sitting out near the fire next to his brother Farrell. And just to give you a little bit of an indication on what this young man looks like, you look at him. He's got kind of disheveled blonde hair. Oh, where is it at? He looks to be about in his mid-20s. And you can see that he is very quiet, oddly quiet. He doesn't really say much over the course of dinner. And you can see his wife, Tola, sits next to him. You look at her, and she has kind of darker brown hair, straight as an arrow, that she's got kind of tied back and goes straight down the middle of her back. She looks to be probably about 19, 20 years old. And you can see that every once in a while she will grab his knee and just kind of whisper at him, do you need anything? Do you need anything? And Poppy and Farrell the Younger and Ernalda all join you, and you have a quite a fine dinner. You can tell that Farrell the Elder is basically enraptured with his food. He doesn't really speak much, he doesn't speak much between the grunts and chews that you can hear from, you would assume, across the homestead. And after dinner, you see that Poppy and Tola begin gathering up all of the dishes and such, and making their way back inside. At which point, Farrell brings out a bottle and pops it open, and you can see it's wine. And he says,
"Farwell, mind the wall. Go, take your perch."
And you can see he solemnly stands up and makes his way over to the perch along the wall, climbs the ladder, and sets on the stool, bow in hand, just looking out over the valley below. And without really speaking, you can see that Farrell just begins drinking incessantly.
At some point before, everything, Miragar would have told the company that, or especially Larry, that the girls are from Bree and who their father was.
Oh, old hardy boat. Really? Really?
Yes.
Well, that is quite interesting. This is
Yes,
quite a ways from Bree, but I guess success breeds success.
I was wondering that myself in both of his girls. It was an interesting thing.
What do you
But Miragar will pull out a pipe and set to smoke a little bit. Probably not do too much of the wine if it's passed around or whatever, but pipe.
You can
Larry's
tell
right.
that Farrell does not pass this wine around. In fact, give me a Miragar specifically. Give me a scan roll if you would.
Oh
No.
No. Okay. You would, from this distance, the symbols on the bottle label look familiar, but it's hard to parse it out exactly what it says. You can tell as he's just kind of waves the bottle around as he shouts orders at people, and he says, "Daisy, Ox, come!" And you see these two massive dogs come wagging their tails up to him. He says, "There's my good dogs. There's my good dogs." And with wine in hand, they jump up in his lap and begin licking him in the face. "Oh, get off, you mutts. Come. It's time to stand guard." And he gets up and makes his way over near the gate where he ties the dogs up. And then he looks up as he's tying these dogs up, and he shouts out at Farrell, "Better sentries than all of you."
For someone who's so concerned about his homestead, he doesn't seem that keen on being as aware as possible now, does he?
Miragar will look over to Farrell, the youngest, and be like, "How many days has this brigand group been harassing your guys' farmstead, or was it just last night?"
Well, last night's it's the first day that they've been able to breach the defenses. They've been going at it for a number of weeks now.
Alright.
Every once in a while, we'll see a flash down in the valley. Some sort of fire. I don't know exactly what it is, but it seems as though whoever this tall, bearded man is, seems as though he's trying to scare us.
Did you think of anything that he'd be wanting with you?
He looks around. Probably this.
I'd say that's the obvious answer,
Alright.
yes.
Well, I think, with tonight, if you or your brother feel like you would like to take a longer rest, we can help shift into any guard watching if you would like.
Yes, of course.
That would
Rest
be
is very
that would be
important.
great. This past couple of weeks has been hard on all of us.
Yes.
You fed us, you showed us hospitality. We can at least assist you in making sure your farmstead is not harassed in the evening, the night.
Yes, Miragar is right. It's the least we can do.
Agreed.
Is the gate the only place they have a way up to the top of the wall?
No, you actually look around and you can see that there are perches kind of all along the wall. But it looks as though typically where they would come from would normally be at the main gate, as there are trees and thick brambles which kind of surround the main gate they've kind of been let to grow up for the most part. But somebody who is daring enough may be able to make their way along the side and climb up the wall.
All right.
Is there anything else that you all would like to do?
I might talk to the younger for a little bit and be like, is your father always so enthusiastic about his wine?
Yeah.
Well, everyone has their vices, I suppose.
And you can see that he's kind of, as you're trying to talk to him, you can see that he's looking at you, but he's also kind of looking through you, almost as if he's paying half attention. He's thinking about something. You're not sure what.
This is the younger son, right?
Yes. Farweld.
Yeah. Are you alright?
And with that, he kind of blinks and snaps back to reality and looks at you. Oh. Yeah. Why?
Oh, it just seems like you were very much deep in thought, that's all.
Oh. Yeah, sorry, I was just thinking.
About what, might I ask, if you're willing to share, of course.
Maybe an Enhearten roll.
Alright. By 1, I should have rolled a hope die.
Dang it.
You can see as you ask him this, a bit of fear kind of comes over him. He says, "No, it's nothing."
Is it something that might help us with what's going on here?
It's I don't know.
Your family's been quite kind to us. We want to be able to help you. If you think it'll help, I'm willing to listen.
No, it's I best not talk about it. It's trust me, it's nothing. No. Oh,
Can I
please.
try persuasion?
I'll let you try persuasion with a taking a bonus die away from since you already tried it in Hearten.
Alright, and then I will spend hope.
All right, very good. Yeah. So with that, he stands up from his stool. And were you on top of his perch with him?
If there's enough room, probably. If
Okay,
there's
yeah,
not...
there's plenty of room up there for a few people to stand up there.
Okay.
It's just that there's just the one stool.
Gotcha.
As he stands up, he kind of nods his head in one direction, gesturing you to follow him. And he makes his way down the ladder off of the perch. And he says, "You know, I could swear that I saw a giant walking down from the north, like a man made of snow and darkness, only tall as a mountain."
Alright. Is it made of snow?
I don't know. It just... It's what it looked like. I know it doesn't make sense, but I know what I saw.
I mean, I've encountered trolls before, so I mean, it's not that far-fetched.
Yeah.
Do you think it's part of these bandits, or just something entirely separate?
I don't know. Father says I daydream too much, get lost in my fanciful ways, but I don't know.
I see. I'll probably just... I'll ask him to wait here, and I'll go get the rest of the party and bring them over. So he can talk to them as well. You can trust my friends. They're with me. If you saw something, please explain to them what you think you saw, or what you did see.
Yeah. Sure. Okay. And you see he kind of shrinks into himself at the idea of having to tell these things, which his father deems so... his father deems irresponsible or fanciful. He's hesitant to share that with so many people. But you go and fetch everybody, and he says, I could swear there was a giant walking down from the north. He brought Shadow with him, and he was tall as a mountain. He looked as though he was made of snow and darkness.
As he describes this again, Larry is thinking back to the tale of Jack of Bree.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one giant that survived, according to the tale, right? Or at least there was never really a resolution.
Yeah.
Can we do some lore rolls?
If you'd like, yeah.
Sweet.
Size of a mountain, you say?
Larry has nothing in it, but he'll try anyways. Yeah, no.
Yeah, Aranel's favorite and 3 success die.
Everyone else seems to know, so.
Okay.
Larry's just like, I remember Jack of Bree, what do you guys think?
So, as far as giants made of snow and shadow, you know of some creatures of the Elder Days which were said to have been made of shadow, but shadow and flame, as opposed to shadow and snow. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to you. You think of trolls and tales of giants, and while you haven't seen any nor had any written record of any actual giants around, you look at the boy and you can tell that he is you can tell that his dad's right. Like, he's a bit fanciful and whimsical. You don't know if, based on your lore roll, I mean, you feel as though if there was something about this, you would know of it. But nothing really comes to mind. So you're not really sure what you should take seriously coming from Farweld.
I've never heard of a creature of snow and shadow, but there's many things that a lot of people have never seen, heard of, or fought. To say that you didn't see something would be wrong.
Yes.
But did you see it at night?
Yeah.
Well, sometimes the shadows do play tricks on our eyes. I think you saw something. But what exactly that is, even with your description, I don't know. What about you, Thrush? Have you ever heard of anything like that? Or Aranel?
Nothing I can recall.
Well,
There should have been some sign of a creature that large.
yes. Well, I would just say, men, keep your eyes open. We do know that this bearded man can apparently conjure flames or something. Perhaps it's some sort of illusion he's using. but that doesn't mean it isn't a threat.
Our enemy has lots of ways of deceiving us, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Right. Please. And you can tell, just looking at him, you can tell that he's kind of exhausted, both mentally and physically, having had to keep watch for presumably more than at least a day.
How about you take a break? We can take your shift for you.
Yes, get some rest.
With that, he nods and trudges back towards the house.
I don't know about a giant, but I think he may have seen something.
I mean, we are on the outside of the Weather Hills. We know what can be in those hills.
Yes.
So to say that something couldn't have walked by is be ill-advised, but what he saw, I guess, is the real question.
Yes, well, if this imposter Gandalf can make people think he can conjure flames, he may be able to create other illusions of some kind.
Fair enough.
If not that, then the boy's exhausted. But I think, even if it's unlikely, we should at least be wary.
Agreed. It's best to keep our eyes open.
Well, let's return to our posts, I guess, and see if anything happens.
I can stay here for a little while if you guys would like. I can take the first watch.
Very good.
You have your bow. You have what you need.
Oh, of course.
Gonna go
Alright.
find somewhere to sleep.
I'll take next.
Alright.
Wake me up in the middle of the night as usual.
Alright, well, I guess I'll take the last one for once. That'll be nice.
Alright, so...
Do we need to bring an extra box to put on the stool for him?
No, I just imagine that Miragar leaps his way up onto the stool and it just like kicks his feet out because his feet can't touch the ground.
Just
Alright, so... as you are sitting there, you sit there for a couple of hours, seemingly. When out in the valley, you see a flash of flame. Go ahead and give me a scan roll real quick. Great success. Very good. Okay.
Always.
All right. So you kind of peer out, and it's kind of tough because it seems as though it's very far away, but you can distinctly tell that it seems as though someone has struck flint and lit a torch, and you watch it, and it disappears after just a minute.
Miragar will let out a whistle or some sort of signal to his friends that he saw something. Whether it's a morning bird sound or something that just doesn't fit the night. I'm sure Thrush is resting nearby.
Okay. I'll say that you probably all do hear it. So whoever wants to respond.
yeah, Aranel will go.
Yeah,
with
I think
her next shift, so she might be thinking
You're
of
muted,
her.
Frost.
Bird whistle in return and just make his way up to the perch.
And Miragar will point out where he saw the torch, kind of tell them whatever activity it took. It lit here, moved 100 feet or so, or whatever.
scan the area, but not probably going to see anything because he's bad at it. Still looking though.
Yeah. Out, you can tell that out at that distance, and Miragar, just, you could tell, I mean, it was just the tiniest little flash. You could barely perceive it, but once you saw it, you knew exactly what it was. But you would guess that's really the only thing that you'd be able to make out at this distance, especially at night.
Well, I think that's our fake Gandalf doing his tricks.
Yes. Well, shall we do maybe a trick of our own?
What do you have in mind?
And there are different perches along the wall, correct?
Yeah.
Why don't we light a torch at every perch?
All right.
Not a bad idea. In which direction did we say that we thought they were going? Like towards our left or our right?
So you would guess that as Miragar watched it, it was lit basically directly in front of the, like as you look out towards the valley, it was lit out basically directly in front of you. And you could see as it traveled north just a little bit and then disappeared.
Okay.
All right. Everyone pick a spot and grab a torch.
All right.
All right. And you all light your torches, and the entire homestead is luminous with bright torchlight.
It might scare them away a little bit, or at least slow them down from getting too hasty.
Okay. All right. So, who is next?
Me.
Aranel.
Aranel. Okay. So, Miragar, you are relieved of duty.
And before I go to sleep, I will find Farrell the youngest, if they're not sleeping, or whoever, whether it's Harold or the other brother, and just tell them, hey, we lit torches at each of the perches. I saw that light you were talking about, so we are on alert, but we'll know if they cross into your farmstead.
With that, Fairly Younger gives you a nod, and you can sense a feeling of vindication cross his face. Is there anything else you want to do before you switch watches?
No, I think he'll let Aranel take over, and he'll probably sleep close by, like on the other side of the wall, lean up against it, kind of ready to act if needed.
Okay. Very good. All right. So, Aranel, you take your perch on top of the wall. I'm gonna need you. Go ahead and give me an awareness roll really quick.
Okie doke.
Good old scan awareness.
Okay. So you can hear the sound of hushed tones, whispers, but not coming from outside the wall, but coming from within. You look over from where you can kind of hear the whispers coming from, and in the darkness, shaded from the torchlight, just behind one of the outbuildings, you can see two figures, Farwell and Farrell the Younger, speaking to each other in hushed tones.
All right. I think she'll maybe get down and move just a little bit closer to see if she can hear what they're talking about.
Okay. So as you move closer, are you trying to be stealthy about it?
Sure.
Okay, go ahead and give me a stealth roll. Not exactly what you needed. Okay, very good.
Yep.
Okay, so you make your way down off the ladder and you creep along the wall down towards this outbuilding and try and get a bit of a vantage point to where you can listen in on what they're talking about. And you can tell that they're both nervous. Pharaoh the Younger, it seems as though he says that he fears that they won't be able to protect the farmstead should you all leave. And he fears that they'll be overrun as soon as you do. He also fears that they know that you all are here. To which Farweld responds about the giant that he saw last night. And whether he actually saw it or not, he sees it as an ill omen, approaching danger, doom. Something coming to get them in the night.
Okay, she will return to her perch.
Outside of that, the rest of your watch goes relatively smoothly. You don't sense anything going on outside the walls. In fact, it seems relatively quiet.
I'm next.
She'll get down and go wake up Thrush.
Also, real quick, when do you want to end?
We are at about an hour and a half right now.
Okay, so maybe after the evening,
So,
whatever.
Yeah, I
is
was
supposed to
thinking.
happen. Okay.
Yeah, when you guys wake up in the morning, I was thinking about it. Going ahead and
After the watches, yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Well, we're gonna wake up in the morning. Spoilers. Got it.
We don't know that for sure yet.
I mean, this is me remaining mysterious. All right, let me have
Yeah.
it.
Okay. All right. Hope remains.
And we're never going to know if they come from the east or the west either, so it's going to be a complete surprise.
Because Moss won't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shut up.
You're permanently weary now. Oh no.
I mean, that would be a cruel trick as a dungeon master to purposely be like, oh, they're coming from the north. The party runs to the north. You have the bad guys come from the south. And you're like, oh, I meant the south. Sorry.
No.
All right. So
Yeah. So she'll go wake up Thrush and then maybe mention what she had overheard between the two brothers.
Interesting. They're concerned. Well, that's surprising.
okay. So Thrush,
Mhm.
you go and you take your perch atop the wall, and the rest of you, at this point, there is a howl on a cold northern wind. You all begin being plagued by just dreams of terrible shapes. Spirits with malice written all over them. Dreams of dark hills on a snowy wasteland. And you toss and turn throughout the rest of the night. Whereas Thrush, you set atop the wall, and I'm gonna need an awareness roll from you.
All right. We're gonna throw a hope die on here and hope that Gandalf likes me. Nope. Gandalf doesn't like me, but I succeeded.
You
You
succeed.
got what you needed.
Yep, I got what I needed, but I didn't get Gandalf. It's okay.
Okay. So as you set atop the perch, You can see in the torchlight the reflection of 2 sets of eyes peering up and making their way through the brush. You can hear the cracking of twigs as they make their way up.
Like crepuscular, kind of like animalistic eyes.
What did you roll? Did you get any?
No.
Just-
It's hard to tell,
Okay.
but you can definitely make out that there is something making its way up the hill towards the farmstead.
He is going to knock an arrow and make a night bird sound and just get his arrow ready and get back as far as he can to conceal himself, even though he's up on the perch.
Mhm.
And let's see if anyone responds to his call.
Okay. Miragar and Larry are fast asleep. It's almost as if you are being plagued by this dream which will not relent and will not allow you to awake. However, Aranel, you do hear, just out of the corner of your hearing, you do hear the faint sound of whistling as it brings you to consciousness.
She will get up and go check with Thrush. Let's see what's going on.
He has an arrow ready in his bow, not pulled all the way back, but he is. When he hears you come up the ladder, he's going to let go of the 2 fingers. He's just going to point to his eyes, point straight down where that thing is coming.
Okay, she'll give a slight nod. Is there a better, like another perch that's kind of at a...
You look around and there's a perch on each wall. And you can see, as Thrush points this out to you, you can begin to see 2 forms making their way up. And they're making their way up towards the main gate. But looking around, you can tell that there's not really another perch that gives you a better vantage point on what you're looking at.
Sounds good. So she will get an arrow notched as well. Do we want to give them a couple of warning shots, or wait and see?
I doubt they have any good intent coming here. Can you see what they are?
You can
I
give me
can
a scan
try.
roll.
Hopefully.
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 She sees the whole thing.
Just smacks me in the head. Duh.
Yeah, you can see that as they trudge their way up the hill, you can see that there are 2 men making their way through the brush, and one of them carries with him a parcel.
2 men. One has something with him. A package, perhaps?
Interesting. Okay. I guess we can let them get a bit closer, but if they approach as if they're going to do something to the gate, we should fire at them.
It's a bomb.
Okay.
Should we wake anybody else?
And he's just got to kind of look back. He's like, I don't see anyone. They must not have heard me.
I mean, Larry and Miragar are both like nearby.
Yeah, but this sleep is
Oh
basically
no,
holding you captive.
Oh no, absolutely. I'm just saying, like, you guys could probably see us from where you are, though.
Arrow to the rope, then. Just to wake you up.
Would that actually work?
Okay.
Maybe.
So, are you all? You're kind of just watching them to see what they do.
Yeah, if they get, like, within, say, 30 feet of the gate, like, they're just moving up, like they're going to do something to the gate, or they're going to place us there, I think it's going to be time to shoot them, because in Thrush's mind, they can't be up to any good.
Okay. You watch as they make their way up towards the gate, and they remain within the brambles. They don't actually exit the foliage.
Okay.
However, go ahead and give me an insight roll real quick.
I mean, what?
Oh no!
Oh.
You were so close.
It's hard to tell exactly what it is that he is doing, but you can see he takes this parcel and rears back and lets it loose, throws it over the gate,
And he's going to.
and it plops down on the ground.
I don't like that.
Thrush is firing at him.
Okay, go
Yeah.
ahead. This is a
That's probably a
the shot
triggering
is
event
at a
for both
pretty
of us.
good distance. So if you all want to fire at them, go ahead and give me an attack roll. Just use the skill. And actually, you know what? Here, we'll do this. I'm
Before
going
you
to
just
put-
killed the Amazon guy.
It could be.
I'm gonna put a couple of things on the world map here, and then you can use those as targets.
Okay.
New actor 1 and new actor 2. Let's go.
Can I use my scan roll from before for my my bonuses, or do I need to do another scan roll?
I'd say you can. I would say you're probably that wasn't with the intent to shoot. I don't think, was it?
No, that was yeah. I'll make another one.
Does it matter which one it does? I don't know which one threw it. I don't know if it matters.
They're both basically the same.
Okay,
Look at that!
that's going to be beautiful.
Although, if
I
you
get 3 bonus die.
if you want to shoot the one specifically who threw it, we'll just say it was. We'll say it was that one.
Okay, I targeted that guy. All right. So you said it's at a great
Kill
distance.
that bastard.
It is at a great distance, so I would say go ahead and take off a success die for the shot.
All right. All right. So take a die. Off.
Golly, dude, that's great.
You.
He's
Oh, you failed.
Orb.
Oh no!
Aranel just
As you loose your arrow, Thrush, you loose your arrow and it sails past these two individuals. However, Aranel, you loose your arrow and it makes its way deep into this bandit's leg, and he yells out, "Ah!" And he turns immediately back and begins limping back down the hill as fast as he can. And you can hear, just as he exits your vision, you can hear he falls, and it sounds like he tumbles down the hill. And you can hear him yelling all the way down. And you can see that it looks as though the Ox and Daisy are making their way over to the parcel and are sniffing at it and begin tearing it open.
Wonderful.
can she like yell at the dogs to like get them to hopefully stop? I don't know if I don't know if they'll listen to her, but she's gonna try to rush over there and see if we can
Bad.
get them.
And did the other guy run off too?
The other guy ran off. He ran off down the hill.
Okay.
Go ahead and, Aranel, I would say give me Awe or Persuade, but I'm going to take away a success die due to what is in the parcel.
Okay, so I'm gonna do an awe roll, and then I think I'm gonna put a hope on there because I don't want them getting into that. If I can help it.
Yes.
Success!
Yes.
Nice.
All right.
Okay, so you yell out at these dogs, and they immediately just like look up at you and kind of slink back over to where they were laying before. And as they tore into the package, you can see it laying open. And from what you can tell, it looks like meat.
Poisoned meat, you bastard. You're gonna kill the dogs.
Well, get rid of the best watchman. Thrush is just keeping watch, and he's just going to say down. What was it?
It's meat. I think I'm gonna burn it. I don't trust it.
He's gonna yell out then, Larry, Miragar, wake up!
Larry and Miragar, go ahead and make me a. Let's see. Go ahead and make me a wisdom check for Shadow.
All right. I am
Okay.
going to use a fellowship point to make it. It's favored, right? The effect from Gandalf.
Yeah.
Favored or it's favored or bonus die.
Let
Favored.
me see. I believe it's favored. Let me look at the patrons
Yeah,
real
I
quick.
think so.
Gandalf, fellowship bonus. You can spend fellowship points to make a shadow test favored. Yep.
Okay, and I will also spend a hope.
Okay.
Yes.
So both of you are able to stave off the effects of the shadow, and both of you, upon Thrush calling out to you, awaken.
We've had visitors.
What's going on?
What the hell was that? Miragar, were you stuck in a dream?
Yeah, I guess kind of. I guess I needed sleep more than I had thought.
Okay, well, Aranel and Thrush are calling out to us. Let's go.
Yeah.
We'll probably help them up. Come on.
Yeah, grab our stuff and head over to our friends.
Help me get this fire going again. I need to burn this.
What is it?
Meat. I suspect it's poisoned.
I'm trying to get the dogs.
I think so.
Or the Hobbit. I don't know.
I would clean it first, thank you.
What do you think? Miragar's not a raccoon. He doesn't eat things out of the trash.
Yeah.
It's wrapped up so nicely, though.
I will probably mention to Aranel and Thrush, I'm like, I think Miragar and I were being afflicted by something. We were stuck in some kind of dream state, I think, and it took a lot of effort to get out of it.
A howling on the wind. There's something. The shadow is testing us.
I tend to agree. No, it may not be.
He hasn't looked back at them once. He's just still scanning, even though he's not great at seeing at night. He's just scanning out there.
Well, I think it's safe to say the boy didn't see a giant, but there's something out there.
Yes.
Indeed.
We should let them know.
Larry's probably gonna go in his pack and probably get like a ration or something and give that to the dogs to placate them.
Okay. And
Yes,
you can
give
see
them
that they
the
are.
mysterious meat from the orcs.
I still don't know if we ever identify whether or not that was man flesh. So you know what? I'm not gonna give that to them. The last
Throw
thing
that in
we
the
need,
fire too. It's fine. Just burn it all.
cast it into the fire, all of it.
No.
Do we want to try to follow those two that threw that package, or do we want to wait and see what happens? If you said that you got a good shot on one, then do you think they're going to continue tonight?
I don't think.
I think we
going
staved them
anywhere.
off for now.
I think Thrush is implying Aranel killed one of them. We can at least go check if there's a body.
If you do, be careful.
Yeah. I guess keep watch up above while they're doing that. If they're opening the gate.
So, who all is making their way out?
Larry will go.
I'll go with Larry.
And
Okay.
I will make a stealth roll.
Yeah, let's
Okay.
do that, shall we?
Well,
Very good.
thankfully, it's still a success in spite of a knife. So,
Before they leave,
Oh,
Back to the ones.
Erin will offer
merciless,
her
dude. Merciless.
her lantern to them too, for in
Okay.
case they want to use it when they find the body
okay.
or whatever.
First of all, I would have you all give me a probably a hunting roll as you
Okay.
find the area where they threw the parcel over the wall. Go ahead and give me a hunting roll to see if you can pick up the.
I will just support.
I already put.
Didn't even need it.
Yeah.
It's
Well, I
fine.
had already put a support die expecting
Oh,
you
perfect.
to do it. So nice.
Nice.
All right. As you make your way down, you can see that easily enough this trail is picked up. It seems as though one of them has lost a lot of blood, and it shines brightly in the lantern light as it reflects off of the leaves and the grass below them. Shortly thereafter, you're able to make your way down the hill, and there, at the bottom of the hill, you see a form laying motionless.
I will quietly approach, spear drawn, and just
Kill confirmed.
just poke at the body.
You can see, as you do, it winces a little bit.
If
Go ahead.
you want any chance at surviving, cooperate with us and let us know what's going on. Otherwise, well, we'll just leave you out here in the snow.
You can see he looks up, his eyes reflect brightly in the lantern light, looks up at you and says,
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do to me?
That depends entirely on how you answer our questions.
You don't want to cross the wizard.
He's not a wizard, and we've met the actual one.
Just leave me to die here.
We can save you. My friend is quite talented with medicine.
If you save me, he'll kill me himself.
Well, maybe a change of career is in order.
go ahead and give me an insight roll real quick.
All right. Both of us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oof.
Nope.
No. He's kind of hard to read. Basically, all you can do is just kind of take him at his word.
Miragar, see if you can stabilize him. We'll take him back to the camp. Or the homestead.
And he'll use his healing bombs to.
As you try to
support
approach him,
that.
he attempts to shove you off. He kicks out at you with his one good leg.
So you would rather just die here than do anything else in life?
I won't be a frog. No. Not to the one who lives in that fort.
What is it you're trying to do? Why do you keep assaulting these people's house?
Kill the evil wizard.
Where's this evil wizard?
You can see his eyes dart back up the hill from whence you came.
There's no wizard there. You're being deceived.
Can I roll a healing check to see if I notice this guy is under any type of
Drug or something?
yeah, like on the influence of something? It maybe not magical unless I roll really, really high, but like some sort of manipulation.
Sure. If you're looking for some sort of substance, then I would say healing. If you're looking for some sort of like mental manipulation, I would say probably riddle or something.
Yeah, I'll give it a riddle. I'm trying to see if this guy
I'll say.
manipulated in some form. Mother.
I was about to
Golly.
say I was gonna assist you before you rolled that.
That doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, it
and
would have been 2 die from me, so it might have mattered.
if you want to, I don't.
Just roll 2d6.
Yeah, I don't know how you would assist on a riddle roll because it's kind of a mental thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I was
Unless you
probably
kind of take them aside and kind of talk about it for just a second, then I'd allow it. That's fine.
Oh,
Okay.
well, I was gonna say I was probably just gonna put the lantern up against him so Miragar could actually see and scrutinize him properly in the dark.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
That's an extra
So-
8.
8. Okay, so yeah, that would
Yeah.
that'd bring you past it. So you kind of examine his behavior, and he definitely seems like he's probably being manipulated in some way. Either he's being lied to or something along those lines. But you can tell that he is, he has a lot of faith in what he has been told, and that what he is doing is trying to kill the evil wizard.
And if that's the case, Miragar is going to kind of look at Larry and get down as close as this guy. We'll let him get him and say, look, if we were tricked, and he'll like look at Larry and look at, point to himself, then I would like to talk to this wizard of yours, for if we are on the side of evil, we're not evil. We want to fight evil. Please, how do I find the wizard you work for?
Make me a enhearten or a persuade roll. I'll take either one.
We'll go with Harden. I'll use another.
Nice. There it is.
Very nice.
He says,
Fine. You want to talk to him so bad? We've been staying with Gandalf in the old watchtower down the hill.
All right.
and
Miragar,
he
let's
points
help
off in a direction, and you, in Miragar, you specifically remember where he's pointing is exactly where you had seen the torch being lit.
Okay. Interesting.
All right, Miragar, let's try to stabilize him.
Okay. And with that enhearten roll, he seems to acquiesce a little bit to your efforts.
Listen, we have been fighting the enemy in the shadows for quite some time, so if there's something wrong here, we want to be on the correct side.
And he seems to quiet down quite a bit. You can tell that he's kind of thinking and doesn't know what to think.
Are you supporting me as I'd roll this healing roll there,
Yes,
Larry?
absolutely.
Oh, jeepers creepers. Yeah. You are able to very surgically remove the arrow and probably save it for later use, no less. But you are able to stabilize him, prevent him from losing any further blood, and basically make it to where you don't think he'll be able to walk, because it seems as though, based on the trail that you followed, he has lost quite a bit of blood, and it's almost a miracle that he's still awake.
Yeah.
But he'll live.
Well, then we prop him up on a tree.
Well, I'm probably going to say, Miragar, you stay with him. I'm going to get the others.
Okay. And Miragar kind of slouches back into the brush a little bit.
And Larry's going to quickly run back to the homestead and get Aranel and Thrush's attention.
I suppose we'll pay attention. No, he's not out into the fields with the gate. He's specifically looking for when you guys come back. Hopefully, you come back.
We found him. He's alive. We stabilized him, and he has some interesting things to say. I think you two should join us.
All right.
Alright. Aranel's gonna go try to wake up one of the
Sons.
brothers to see if they can just keep an eye out while we go talk to this guy.
All right. And at that, Farwell wakes up and he gives you a nod and makes his way over to his perch on the wall. And you all make your way down the hill towards the now stabilized brigand. And with that, we are going to go ahead and end tonight's session.
All right.
Interrogation next week.
Let's go.